Good day everyone. Today we will discuss about planning. We will talk about the definition and the nature, the types of plans, the planning at different levels in the firm, and the planning techniques and tools and their applications. Let's define first what is planning. Planning, it is the process of establishing goals and figuring out methods that would help attain these goals. According to David Holt, planning is the process of defining an organization's objectives and how it is will be achieved, and like what is to be done and when it is to be done. So planning is not just about setting goals. It's about detailing what is to be done. These are the specific tasks and actions that need to occur and when it is to be done. Of course, these are the timeline for this test. Now, what are the nature of planning? So we have planning is goal-oriented, planning is a primary function, planning is a continuous process, planning is an integrated process, and planning includes effective and efficient dimensions. So for the first one, it is goal-oriented because planning sets a specific objectives, providing direction and priorities for action. Next is planning is a primary function. Of course, it's a fundamental management function preceding the organization, the leading, and controlling. And then planning is a continuous process because planning is an ongoing process requiring constant adaptation to changing environments. And then fourth, it is an integrated process because it is interconnected with other management functions, ensuring alignment across the organization. And lastly, it includes effective and efficient dimensions because planning focuses on achieving goals, which is the effectiveness, and then optimizing resources for the efficiency. What are the benefits of planning? It sharpens focus, it provides flexibility, it improves coordination, and it tightens control. It sharpens focus because it gives you a clear sense of direction and purpose. It provides flexibility because it helps you or the managers to adjust or shift activities to respond to changes in the environment. And it improves coordination because you coordinate the activities and the decisions of other individuals or groups to achieve common objectives. And then it tightens control because planning clarifies the objectives, preferably SMART, by comparing the expected output to what was actually accomplished. What are the types of plans? So we have according to dimension, the time frame, and the repetitiveness. First, let's talk about the dimension. We have the corporate planning, the divisional or business planning, and then the functional or unit planning. Corporate planning, also known as the strategic planning, it evolves from the goals and strategies created by the organization's top management. So it is the foundation of the organization in terms of all plans, policies, and strategies, and it covers the entire organizational activities, and it is usually long-term. Kung matatandaan ninyo yung sa roles of the management, di ba? Ito yung pinaka kailangang masunod or sundin ng mga employees since ito yung pinaka decision ng top management. So, corporate planning, so yung pinaka talagang need ma-attain ng lahat. Next, we have the business planning, also known as the divisional planning or tactical planning. It concerns the process of determining the divisional actions that will satisfy the consumer's needs, decide on a specific sub-goal within its defined area, or responsibility and establish policies and budget to attain these goals. Siyempre, after nung corporate planning, yung mga strategies na ginawa, pag napunta na sa business planning, siyempre, magkakaroon ng sub-goal. So, under dun sa mismong department na yan, gagawa pa sila ng mga planning para ma-attain yung unang strategic planning na ginawa. Kaya nagkakaroon ng mga tactics, di ba? Tactical planning siya. Ano yung mga ways nila para masunod or magawa yung mga unang pinlano galing sa taas. No, tandaan yan. So, strategic planning papuntang tactical planning. Next is the functional or unit planning. It is also known as operational planning. The department managers or first-line supervisors develop a set of feasible action plan and focus on planning for a day-to-day activity to implement the division plans. So it is the lowest level of planning and it uses short-range actions. So syempre, since nasa first-line management na siya, sila yung nakakaharap talaga ng mga sa mga customers. So short range lang yung plano doon. Parang every time na nag-work siya, yun lang, nandun na yung specific na goal na kailangan niya ma-attain. So halimbawa lang, kung ang quota niya doon sa first line operation na yun, kung hindi niya lang makabenta ng, sabihin na natin 100, yun na yun yung pinaka short plan niya. Yun yung operational plan niya. Parang per employee 100 products lang. Yun na yung pinaka operational planning niya for that day. No? Sana nasusundan. So, here is a summary of the planning. So, syempre sa top management, we have the strategic. Sa middle management, we have the tactical. And then for the first line management, we have the operational. You can just pause this para mabasa yung iba pang mga nakasulat. Now let's talk about planning according to time frame. We have the long range, the medium or intermediate range, and the short range. So what is long range? It deals with decisions for broad technological and competitive aspects of the organization which might extend up to 15 years. Siyempre, since time frame ang pinag-usapan dito, i-analyze mo na lang, no? Pang matagalan ba yung decision na yun or yung plano na yun. So, tandaan, di naman siya technically ganito lagi katagal. Pero siyempre, mag-base ka na lang din. Kung alin yung mas matagal, malamang yun yung long range. Okay? Next, we have the medium or the intermediate range. It deals with the plans that are more detailed compared to the long range since the time span is shorter and the concerns are more specific and basic functions of the organization. So this is between 2 to 5 years. Diba, pansinin nyo, kung sa corporate planning, yun yung nasa long range. And then dito sa medium or intermediate range, pwedeng ito na ngayon sa middle management. Kaya medyo mas maikli na. Okay? And last, we have the short range. And then it is just an extension of long range planning and usually extends to about 1 year. And it includes more specific plans with respect to the plant location, the work methods, inventory, and controls employee training, and the like. Siyempre, kung short range lang yung planong, halos pasok na nga din dito. Siyempre, yung day-to-day, di ba? Doon sa first line management, hindi naman sila pang matagalan talaga na plano. So, i-consider natin silang short range na plano. And now let's talk about planning according to repetitiveness. So we have standing plans and single-use plans. First, we have the standing plans. Standing plans are those developed by the organization to direct activities that will occur frequently over time. So, ito yung mga planong medyo pang matagalan nga kasi nga lagi siyang magagamit. Pag sinabi kasing frequently or occur frequently over time, madalas kasi siyang nangyayari. So, lagi siyang nagagamit. Diba? Ay standing, parang nandun na siya. Paulit-ulit kasi siyang gagamitin doon sa activity sa organization. And we have the single-use plans. Of course, it deals with ill-structured or non-repetitive problems to fit a specific situation. Yun nga, parang kung isipin mo single-use, parang diba kung disposable yan. Kasi nga, minsan lang siya magagamit kasi hindi naman ganoon kadalas nangyayari yung problema doon sa organization. So, nagkakaroon ka lang ng sudden decision making para mapunan yung pangyayari doon sa problemang yun. So, single-use plans kasi nagawa mo siya, tapos na, hindi na naulit yung problemang yun. Now let's talk about the planning techniques and tools and their applications. Alright, so for an organization to achieve an effective planning in today's competitive and dynamic environment, different techniques and tools must be considered, such as forecasting, contingency planning, scenario planning, benchmarking, and participatory planning. First, we have the forecasting. Forecasting, it is an attempt to predict what may happen in the future. Diba nga, kung titignan nyo yung mga newscaster, diba? Or kahit yung Pag-asa mismo, nagfo-forecast sila kasi nga pinipredict nila yung posibleng mangyari and posibleng galaw ng mga bagyo. So part na yun ng planning. Diba? Parang nalalaman natin kung kailan tayo magsususpend kasi nga nakapag-forecast na sila ng galaw ng bagyo na yun. So pwede namang gamitin yung forecasting sa management. So, magbigay tayo ng mga examples for forecasting. So, estimating next year's student enrollment based on the current population growth in Bamban. Diba? Kasi since may pinagbabasihan tayo and makakapag-estimate tayo or makakapag-predict nga tayo since kunwari dito nga kung dumami ang population ng Bamban, malamang mas maraming mag-e-enroll. Nagigets? Another, predicting pomelo sales during the rainy season based on the past consumer behavior. Yan, basta may pinagbabasihan tayo, nakakapag-forecast tayo ng mga posibleng mangyari. And forecasting the demand for digital learning tools based on recent trends in online education in the Philippines. So yun nga, nagiging ADM nga tayo kapag biglaang walang klase, di ba? So parang nagiging ready na rin tayo sa mga posibleng gawin kapag walang pasok. Next, we have the contingency planning. So contingency planning offers alternative courses of action when the unexpected happens or when things go wrong. Sa simpleng salita, kung yung pinaka-plano mo ay plan A, siyempre ang contingency planning ay plan B. Tulad nito, since bigla ang nagkaroon ng announcement na walang pasok, kaya nga tinatawag na ADM yung alternative distance modality. Kasi nga yun yung alternative para pampalit doon sa face-to-face classes. So nagkakaroon tayo ng mga ganitong video lesson para at least nadidiscuss pa rin yung mga topics. So ito yung halimbawa ng contingency planning. So magbigay lang tayo ng mga halimbawa para sa contingency planning. So preparing an alternate venue for Bamban's annual harvest festival in case of a typhoon. So ayun nga, kunwari lang naman to. Since may mga bagyo-bagyo, syempre gagkaroon ng alternate venue. Syempre dun sa mga may covered na, mga covered court, mga ganyan, or iba pa. Then developing a backup teaching method for SRHS senior high school if internet connectivity issues arise during online classes. O yan nga. Parang same example lang yan. Pag nagkakaroon ng announcement, diba, may mga alternative lesson pa rin naman ang binibigay sa inyo. And then creating a financial reserve for Pamela farmers in Bamban in case of sudden drop in market prices. Yan, syempre, example lang naman yan para sa Bamban. Now we have the scenario planning. Scenario planning is a long-term version of contingency planning. Several future state affairs must be identified and alternative plans must be prepared in order to be able to meet the changes or challenges that may occur in each of the future scenarios. Ayan, sabi nga niya, long-term version of contingency. Kung dati may plan A at plan B ka lang, parang sa scenario planning dapat nakapag-prepare ka na ng hanggang plan Z. Kasi nga, tinignan mo na lahat dapat yung mga posibleng maging concern or problem doon sa mismong organization ninyo or magiging scenario nga. Para kahit ano man doon ang mangyari, ready ka parati. So here are the examples for scenario planning. So developing a plan for SRHS senior high school if online learning becomes the primary mode of education with separate strategies for partial and full digital integration. So syempre, kunwari lang naman na magiging online na talaga yung setting ng San Roque. So syempre maninibago din yan. So maraming posibleng maging concern. And dapat ready ang school natin sa ano mo magiging problema. And dapat may mga backup na siyang mga solution para doon. And then exploring different agricultural strategies in Bamban based on scenarios where the government either increases or reduces subsidies for local farmers. Ayan, medyo technical na lang din yan. Isipin nyo na lang yung mga dapat daw na pwedeng gawin ng Bamban patungkol dyan. And then preparing for multiple future outcomes in case the town's economy either boosts due to tourism growth or stagnates because of global market downturns. So dapat, ayan, kung isipin nyo yung mga pangyayari dyan sa Pogo na yan, dapat napaghandaan na nila. Or actually, parang napaghandaan na nga nila, di ba? Parang kahit may mga hearing na dyan, parang nakaalis, pero kaso nahuli pa nga. Next, we have the benchmarking. So its main purpose is to find out what other people and organizations do well, and then plan how to incorporate these practices into the company's operation. Kung iisipin nyo, kahit kayo mismo, kahit hindi pa naman kayo employee, magagamit nyo na itong benchmarking. Kasi nga, sabi nga, titingnan mo alin yung pinaka maganda or yung best na way na ginagawa ng iba. Yun yung benchmarking doon. Di ba? Parang ikaw mismo, hindi mo na kailangan magkamali eh. Kung nakita mo na nagkamali yung isang tao and then natuto siya doon sa part na yun, yun ang gayahin mo. Kung ano yung ginawa niya, i-adapt mo na. Yun ang benchmarking. Since yun yung best, gawin mo na sa part mo. Nakuha. Tandaan. Kuhanin mo na yung maganda at tama, saka mo i-adapt sa'yo. Yun yung benchmarking. So here are the example for benchmarking. So comparing SRHS senior high school's academic performance against other top performing schools in the region to identify areas for improvement. Diba? Since malalaman mo na yung pinakaiba ng yung ibang school, dapat gayahin na ng mga Gayahin na lang San Roque yun para maging top performer din siya. Or at least malaman natin yung mga need natin i-improve. Diba? And then, studying the sustainable farming practices of a neighboring town to improve Bamban's pomelo farming efficiency. Ayun nga, since may tinitingnan tayong katabing bayan, dapat i-adapt natin yung mga ginagawa nila para mas maging maganda rin yung sa farming ng Bamban. And then, analyzing the online teaching methods of other schools to refine SRNHS Senior High School digital learning approach. Yan, sabi nga, ina-analyze lang yung ibang school. I-compare natin para makuha natin yung mas magandang paraan. Yun yung sa benchmarking. Lastly, we have the participatory planning. So it is a planning process that includes the people who will be affected by the plans and those who will be asked to implement them in all planning steps. From the word participatory, di ba? Nagpaplano ka or sinasama mo sa plano, sa pag-uusap, yung mga posibleng maapektuhan doon sa magiging plano nyo. Parang, ang hirap kasi, di ba? Parang, minsan may nagpaplano na kahit wala ka. And then, doon sa planong pa lang yun, mas ikaw pa yung affected. Di ba? So, mas maganda yung participatory planning na nandoon lahat ng mga employees or kung sino mang grupo na posibleng maapektuhan para kung meron mga suggestions, di ba? Or any comments, mapag-uusapan na kaagad. So, yan. Yung kasama yung lahat. Kung sino yung affected, sila dapat ang kasama sa participatory planning. So here are the examples for participatory planning. So involving students, teachers, and parents in the planning process for implementing digital learning at San Roque National High School, Senior High School Department. Yun, siyempre dapat lahat, kung may bago, kailangan pag-usapan, dapat nandun lahat yung mga magiging apektado. And then engaging Bamban's local farmers, cooperatives, and government officials in the discussions to improve agricultural productivity and infrastructure. And then last, we have the conducting workshops with community members and school stakeholders to develop a holistic education plan that adapts to changing technology and policies. Ang importante lang, dapat nandun lahat kung sino yung dapat nakapagbibigay ng mga suggestion or mga comments kasi sila yung magiging apektado. Okay, so for your group activity, and since nasa alternative distance modality tayo, gagawin nyo pa rin to. So you are going to create a video recording on the plans on how you can improve your academic performance. So you have to be detailed. You need to say the steps or the goals that you are going to do. So, gagawa kayo ng video recording. So, by group yan. I-edit nyo na lang ng maayos. And syempre, dapat naririnig ng maayos din pag pinanood ko. And then, for your individual performance task din naman, you are going to create a collage. So, ang title niya ay My Dream Board. Ang gagawin nyo ay, syempre isip nyo yung ano ba yung greatest dreams mo sa buhay. Kung ano yung mga gusto mong makamit. So maghahanap ka ng mga pictures ng gugupitin mo. Or pwede naman kung gusto mong digital, pero mas prefer ko na naggupit ka talaga ng mga bagay-bagay para makabuo ng collage. No? And then, on a separate paper din, susulat mo doon on how are you going to reach those goals. So, sa unang paper, gagawa ng collage, no? Yung mga gusto mo makamit, ilagay mo lahat dyan. Tulad dun sa unang activity natin, kasi 5 lang naman yung pina-arrange ko, di ba? Based sa priorities mo. Pero dito, gagawa ka ng collage kung kaya mong mapuno yung buong bond paper, ilagay mo lahat ng dreams mo doon. Pero syempre dapat maganda pa rin tignan, no? And on a separate paper, doon ka na magsusulat. Ano ba yung mga steps or mga gagawin mo to reach those goals. Naintindihan? And hanggang doon lang. Salamat sa pakikinig. Good day.